Hey there, welcome to No Nonsense November, day 14. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here from the Get Up and Go Challenge. This year, 2020, decided it was such a crazy year with the pandemic and everything and COVID-19 that I wanted to do something to just, number one, get myself through the whole challenging times and all the craziness that's gone on this year. But also, if I'm going to do something, I want to bring other people right along with me. So I started doing a 30-day challenge, a 30-plus day challenge. Did the first one in April and then found out the pandemic wasn't over. So I decided I would do it again. I was challenged by a group of entrepreneurs to do it again and do a 40-day challenge in the month of June into July. So I did the second Get Up and Go challenge then, and it was a 40-plus day challenge. Then again, it was August. Pandemic was still here. Change is continuing, as it always does, by the way, to impact all of us. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it again in the month of August. Then we did it again in October, just finished the Get Up and Go challenge, the fourth 30-plus day Get Up and Go challenge, and decided I wanted to take the month off from, I like to kind of have a little time in between to breathe, regroup, and say, okay, well, how can we make that better? What did we learn from the last challenge, and how can we take that and build it into this next challenge? So did October. November, one of my amazing challenge participants and friends, Evel, said, hey, why don't you share a tool a day in the month of November that you use and have been using in your life that has helped make your life better, help make things work and in your life, because I know that you've been through a lot of challenges. And I said, well, that's a great idea. So I started doing it. And on November 1st through the 13th and today the 14th and through the entire month of November, I'm picking a tool. I brainstormed a list of all the tools, not all of them, but some of them that I've used that come to mind. And every day I think of a couple of more that I've forgotten to add to the list, and I add them to my brainstorm list. And I look at that list and I say, okay, well, what do I feel like talking about today? And today I decided, actually last night, decided that forgiveness is today's No Nonsense November tool. So today we'll talk about forgiveness, but I want to remind you that on December 1st through the end of the year, we are going to have the free fifth and final 30-plus day Get Up and Go challenge. So I would like to invite you to join us. Come learn about the SOAP framework, learn how you can be guaranteed to be better off after any challenge or change that you face than before that challenge, just by learning something that I've called during COVID the SOAP framework. I've done it for decades on myself, but I never actually thought about, well, what is my process? How do I work through? How do I deal with challenges and change? Because if you listen to a few of mine, I've got like so many weird challenges that would have stopped most people dead in their tracks, and they would have given up and just said, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just going to be and stay small, and I'm not going to move forward. And we all have that opportunity where we can just say, I'm done. I'm done. It's over. I'm not going to follow my dream. But that's not very fun. Have I been there, done that sometimes for short periods of time? Absolutely. We all get disheartened and disillusioned over situations. And that leads us to today's tool, the tool of forgiveness. Now, a couple of things that come to my mind when I first hear the word forgiveness. Number one, forgiveness does not mean forgetting, right? It doesn't mean 100% letting someone off or forgetting about what someone has done to harm or hurt you. It means that you're going to let the negative energy that's impacting you go once and for all toward that other person. Now, the other one is forgiveness is absolutely positively for you. I think this is what got me personally okay with forgiving past hurts. Because I used to be one of those people that, I loved everybody until you did something to harm me or hurt me. And then I would never have anything to do with you again. I would dislike you. I would have nothing to do with you. I would just hold a grudge and not forgive or forget. I would remember. I was like an elephant. I remembered everything, and I just wouldn't let it go. I just would have nothing to do with you. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I don't remember. Whatever. There's a saying like that. Obviously not that good with these like old quotes and sayings. But I would hold a grudge. I would not forgive people. If they did something intentionally to hurt me, they were just gonzo in my life. And then I realized, and I don't even remember where I learned it or who I heard it from. Probably, church. Remember our Father, the Lord's Prayer, our Father who art in heaven. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. I couldn't tell you how many thousands of times I have said that out loud being raised Catholic, and that didn't really listen to it, right? We want to be forgiven for our trespasses and our sins, but it doesn't mean we're going to forgive other people. And it reminds us to forgive other people. Now, I'm divorced, and I found that it was interesting to look into and study forgiveness because I actually discovered that through my divorce, I was more willing to forgive my ex-husband than I was to forgive myself. I let my husband off the hook ages ago, but I continued long after forgiving him to beat myself up for having a failed marriage, because I grew up believing you got married once and that was your life and you made it work no matter what. And here I was divorced and beating myself up for not being true to one of my core values and my core beliefs, was that relationships are important and that you do whatever you can to salvage and save that relationship. Well, I decided it would be interesting to look up the steps and the stages of forgiveness, because like anything else, it can be a process, right? Forgiveness is a process just like anything else. So what are those stages? Well, they have 7 steps and stages recommended by the experts of forgiveness. And I'll run through those quickly, but I will say I have my own version and it's 2 steps. It's decide and then do it. Make a decision and then act on that decision. Forgive yourself. Decide you're going to do it whenever you decide you're going to do it, because we never forgive anyone or anything, including ourselves, until we absolutely choose to be ready, right? Now, we could spend, like me, getting over my divorce, maybe years and years and years getting ready, but the instant we decide and then we just let ourselves off the hook and do it is the instant that we get that freedom from all of the negative energy and nonsense that we're holding on to with respect to that situation, that relationship, that whatever. I remember the first time I got fired. I hung on to that situation for so long, so much longer than I needed to. And it wasn't as long as my divorce, but it was longer than I needed to. When we relive those same experiences over and over and over again in our mind, and we build them up to be bigger than they ever were or ever should have been in our lives, we as human beings tend to do that. That's why we talked about letting go strategies yesterday. So what are these 7 steps to forgiveness? Number 1, acknowledge the hurt and the pain that you have been caused by a situation, a person, or a place or a thing, right? Let's talk about people, because we tend to forgive people, right? And that includes us. We have to remember to forgive ourselves as well. So we acknowledge that there's been some pain and hurt and that we've been hurt. Something happened, somebody did something, or we did something to hurt ourselves. Step 2 is to consider how that hurt and pain is impacting us. What kind of an impact is it having on us? If it's having a big impact, we probably want to address it and do something about it, right? The 3rd stage is to accept that the past is the past and there's nothing we can do to change the past. If I said something mean to someone in the past, yes, been there, done that, absolutely positively have. I have to accept that I can't go back and change that. Then the 4th step is to determine whether you want to forgive or not. Do you want to forgive the person? Are you ready to forgive the person? A lot of times we need to spend some time working through the acknowledgement, the consideration, and the accepting phase that, hey, this happened. It happened. COVID-19 happened. I mean, who are you going to blame for that, right? A lot of people try to blame the president. That's absolutely ludicrous and ridiculous, right? So sometimes there's no one to blame and it's just a circumstance. So we have to determine, is it the time? Are we ready to forgive in the first place? Are we even ready to consider forgiveness? Sometimes, if something super bad or traumatic has happened in your life, you might not be ready. You might determine, I need to work through some more things. I'm not ready to forgive. The next stage, the 5th stage, is to repair. Now, repair does not necessarily mean restore or have a relationship with this person ever again, right? It means maybe that we're going to repair it in terms of we're not going to let the negative energy of it impact us anymore. The next stage is to learn more about forgiveness. And this is where we realize that forgiveness is about and for us. It's not for the other person. It doesn't matter if the other person or how they react to us forgiving them. We may not ever even verbally let them know that we forgive them. We may not ever communicate to them that we forgive them. It's, do we forgive them in our heart. That's us repairing the relationship. That's us learning about forgiveness being a gift that we give ourselves in order to let go of the negative impact and the negative energy that something or someone from the past has been having on us. And then we actually forgive. We forgive the person for their misdeeds. We don't forget. And here's the biggest thing. People try to combine forgiving and forgetting. They say forgive and forget. But I say forgive, but never forget. Learn the lesson. Take the lesson with you that the situation is happened to teach you. Otherwise, you are subject to repeat it, right? If you forget, something will happen to remind you if it's important for you to learn that lesson. So I say forgive the person, and especially forgive yourself for being in that situation. A lot of times we're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and we end up being a victim of things, a victim of circumstances, of our choices. We chose to go somewhere, and it was just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Forgive yourself for that, right? Forgive yourself for anything and everything that you've judged yourself for. And then, like I said, the 7 steps to that, acknowledge, consider, accept, determine, repair, learn, and forgive. People like 7 steps because we can remember 7 things as human beings in our short-term memory. But I say decide and do. Decide that you are going to not let the negative impact of any person, place, or thing affect you moving forward, because the past is the past. And then just do it. Just forgive yourself. Create some little way. You can create some little ceremony where you forgive yourself. You can use some of the letting go strategies that we talked about yesterday and forgive yourself in whatever way feels right and feels good to you. So that's it. Forgiveness, one of the best gifts you can ever give yourself. See you tomorrow with another No Nonsense November. Have an absolutely amazing day. Again, forgiveness is for you. Forgive, don't forget, but realize that a lot of times we let other people off the hook a lot more easily than we let ourselves off the hook. All right, have a fun day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.